And what I want you to do now, Ruby, is it's time to meet your spirit guides. This is the exciting part.
Okay.
So when you're comfy in that chair, I want you to notice suddenly that there is a chair being placed either side of you now. Okay. And we are going to have somebody sit on the left-hand side of you and somebody sit on the right-hand side of you. And we're going to meet them and we're going to play a game with them. They're already aware of this game, so don't worry, you're not going to be upsetting them. They're part of it. I already talked to them about this before. So what I want them to do is make their energy felt. So one at a time, they're going to come. I'll talk to one and we'll play the game, and then the second person will come and we'll play a game. So it's just one at a time. Okay, Ruby? They'll make their energy felt. So what'll happen is they'll start off with their energy far away, and then millimeter by millimeter, they're going to bring in their energy closer and closer and closer until you begin to feel it. And what I'm looking for is words that convey what this energy feels like, or looks like, or sounds like.
On my right-hand side, I feel all tingly, like it's tickly and tingly.
Okay, tickly and tingly. And how do you see the energy? If you can focus on the energy, does it have a shape, a color, a form?
An old man.
Okay. All right. And does this old man look happy or?
Yeah.
Happy. Okay. And how is he dressed?
In a cape, like a long grey cape.
Okay. And what's his name?
Henry.
Henry. Hello, Henry. Henry, lovely to meet you today. Henry, how long have you been with Ruby?
52 years.
52?
That isn't. No, I'm not even 52.
That's all right. Doesn't matter. They can come and go many times of your life. Okay. They can also be with you over multiple incarnations. So this Henry's been there for 52 years. Okay, Henry.
Okay.
What do you help Ruby with that she's unaware of? Or what could you be potentially helping Ruby with? What part of her life is your focus?
Nature. In the garden.
Okay. And Henry, when you try to communicate with Ruby in the past, how have you tried to do this? Can you show her now?
Butterflies.
Mm-hmm.
Birds.
Mm-hmm. And when that being from the green planet came, the green light, what message did you try to send her?
Oh. Her mum, a vision of her mum.
Ah, okay.
In the garden near the tree.
Mm-hmm.
But she was inside sad.
Okay. And can you show Ruby other times you've tried to communicate with her?
In the basement when she was painting.
Mm-hmm.
In the greenhouse when the blue tick got stuck.
Mm-hmm.
In the pond when the dragonfly landed on her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, lots of time.
You're a very patient man, Henry. Well done. And Henry, may I ask you, dear, are you okay for a moment just to play the game?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. So this is just to teach you a concept, okay, Ruby? And we're not going to hurt or insult Henry in any way. He's freely participating in this game. So imagine you're in your kitchen, and doesn't matter whether you have this in real life or not, but imagine there is a pot of salt beside you. And it's got that little spoon, right? You dip in to get some salt. So I want you to look at Henry and I want you to fling some salt at him.
Okay.
What happens?
He shakes it.
Yeah, but he's still there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just wait a few seconds, see if anything happens to Henry.
Oh, he flies away. He changed from a man to a bird. And he flew away up in the corner.
Okay. And then what happens?
He just flaps about a bit.
Okay.
Oh, and then he's back, but in the other bit, but as a person. He's tricky.
So Henry, did you just play that part to show her how the salt can change, or are you really a spirit? Are you really her spirit guide?
I am.
You are. Okay. And so what was the point of showing her the bird?
Because I'm always here.
Okay. All right. Now, Ruby, what I want to tell you is that if Henry had changed into a bird and then that bird had dissolved, that was he would have been a fake spirit guide, okay?
Okay.
A negative being trying to present to be a certain person, yeah?
Okay.
So anytime you fling salt at a so-called spirit guide, if it's a real spirit guide, they'll do something funny and try to make light of it and then come back and they'll be back in their original form. If it's a fake spirit guide, they'll resist it, but then eventually they will dissolve.
Okay.
Now, the other thing, I want you to look into Henry's eyes. Can you see his eyes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's the other test. If this was a fake spirit guide, a non-pleasant being, you would not be allowed to see their eyes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the salt test and the eye test. And then the third thing you can do to check is you can ask them if they come from the light. Okay. And if it's a negative entity, they will be afraid of the light. They will say something negative about the light. Oh, I don't want the light will burn me, or the light's unsafe, or whatever it is. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you're really worried, you can always ask them who's their master or something like that. And somebody in the light will say either the light, or they'll say Jesus, or they'll say God or source, or, some kind of a descriptive word. Okay. So that's your test. Okay. Thank you, Henry. Now, Henry, were you ever a human being before you were in spirit as a spirit guide?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And did you have a lifetime with Ruby in another life?
Yes.
Okay. And what life was that?
I was a grandfather.
Uh-huh.
Many years ago.
Many years ago.
Many years ago.
Okay. All right. Well, Henry, thank you. You can communicate directly now with Ruby. She's getting your messages loud and clear, and should it be of benefit for her in the future to access that past life to reveal wisdom, I'm sure you will guide her to how to do that or who to get help with to do that. Okay, so I really thank you. And we'll just move your vision to the other chair now, Ruby.
Okay.
And I want you to ask that spirit guide to move their energy in closer, bit by bit by bit. And as the energy gets closer and closer and closer to you, I want you to describe to me how it looks and feels.
Well, it feels like it's quite heavy and pulling me down, but like in a protective way, not like in a heavy bad way. Like as if somebody's draping on your shoulder or something.
Okay, so I want you to look closer. Is that how does this represent to you? Color, shape, image?
Like black. It's a black, like a smudge, like a heavy smudge.
Okay. And can you see this black heavy smudge's eyes?
No,
No. Throw salt at it, please.
you didn't like it.
All right. So we're going to call in the rescue spirits of light and the spiritual police. Please come and take this being away. Immediately transmute them and send them back to source.
It's gone now.
Beautiful.